into this village. There's a cotton gin that was on top of the hill right out there. That tree line, you see the tree line over there to the north of us?
Yes.
That tree line is the edge of the Tennessee River, and that bluff drops off about 60 feet today. It drops off that much, and that's the river. Along that bluff line, there's old stone horse where they built cabins for visitors, for travelers, and they would stay in those cabins. I got a picture of me sitting in one of those old stone horse. Most of them were made out of limestone. This whole area here is the river basin. At the base of the river is Fort Payne Church. It's a real resistant hard rock that they use to make a lot of all kind of artifacts out of, hoes and points and spear points and whatever. But the cabins that Anne Royal stayed in, she stayed in one of those cabins on the bluff, and she writes about it. And those cabins, the foundations of them and the horse are still along that bluff line over there because that's TVA property. This is private property that's part of the Wheeler Plantation or Wheeler Estate that was once part of either the Caledonia Plantation or the Pond Spring Plantation.
Wow.
Okima was the wife of Doublehead. At the time I wrote that historic marker, I didn't have her letter and I didn't have the information that I know today.
Wow.
But, I wrote that historic marker right there that you're looking at.
Okay.
And that historic marker was wrote about 1995, about when it was put up. The Darnell family had the farming rights to this. I don't know who has the farming rights to it now, but you can see that it's planted in corn.
Wow.
And
So
it would be good to go over there at the bluff and just see how high you are above the river. But of course, you can't walk across that field. I mean, it would be.
So it says during the Creek War in 1813 and 1814, David Crockett used the Mitchell Trace that originated at Melton's Bluff. Sequoia and Andrew Jackson signed the Turkeytown Treaty, September 1816, which took Indian lands in this area.
Right, absolutely. Sequoia's name is on that treaty. Absolutely.
Wow.
And Sequoia was a son of Nathaniel Guest. And you're going to have an argument with people. There were three Nathaniel Guest. Christopher Guest had a brother named Nathaniel Guest. Christopher Guest served with General George Washington and saved his life one time. Christopher had a son he named Nathaniel. Nathaniel, his brother, had a son he named Nathaniel. Christopher's son, Nathaniel, was the father of Sequoia, not Nathaniel's son, Nathaniel. The reason I know that is because when William Christian comes to the Overhill towns, Nathaniel Guest crossed the river with a flag of truce, and the soldiers took him captive and wanted to kill him because he was living in the Cherokee village at that time, and he was a trader and was married to a Cherokee woman and had the son George Guest. Okay, when they took him captive, they found out that he was the son of Christopher Guest that had saved the life of George Washington. So he even got promoted to be in the Continental Army.
Wow.
Nathaniel Guest goes to Kentucky and has a big plantation, and George Guest goes visit him on different occasions. And you can read about that in the history. But a lot of people will argue that Nathaniel Guest, the father of Sequoia, was the son of Nathaniel, the brother of Christopher. It's kind of convoluted, but I believe with all my being and reading his history like I've read it, that there's no question that Nathaniel Guest, the one that surrendered to William Christian's army in October 1776, was the Nathaniel Guest that was the son of Christopher, that Christopher had saved George Washington. And that's the reason they promoted him into an officer into the Continental Army.
Wow,
His father had saved the General George Washington, the first president of the United States.
Scott, would you mind backing up a little bit so I can get the other side? It's in better print.
I think they're the same.
Yeah. It's on better print. That way people on the video could read it if they want to. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. David Melton signed that deed to General Jackson, but also I've got letters, and I think I can show you the letters from Elizabeth Melton and also from Nancy Melton. And Nancy was named after Doublehead's sister, Big Nance, who Big Nance Creek is named after.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, there it is. Melton's Bluff.